So I think Eric Liddell's story is a fascinating story. It's a story about his fantastic sporting achievements, but also about his wider approach to life.
This summer, the Tianjin Sports Museum opened a permanent exhibition to honor the flying Scotsman, Eric Liddell. Born in Tianjin, the Scottish athlete won Olympic gold a century ago with little training. After this personal achievement, he returned to China and dedicated himself to developing sports in Tianjin.
So 100 years ago, also at the Paris Olympics, when he won gold and broke the world record for the 400 meters. Now, what made it really special is that he trained to do the 100-meter race, but he didn't do that one because the heats to qualify for the race fell on a Sunday. And it was against his religious beliefs to run on a Sunday. So he switched. He switched to the 400 meters. And even in doing so, you know, he, as I say, he won gold, he broke the Olympic record, world record. So I think that's part of the story, how it wasn't just about the glory of winning, it was also about staying true to his faith. Then the second part of his story is that he returned to Tianjin at the height of his sporting success, and he became a teacher, a chemistry teacher. So this was in part to give back to the community, and I think that really showed his values of compassion, integrity, and passion.
From 1925, while teaching in Tianjin, Eric Liddell set up sports teams and coached young Chinese athletes. He also played a key role in the renovation of the iconic Mingyuan Stadium, which has served local residents for almost a century.
Right in the center of Tianjin, and in the 1920s, Eric Liddell helped to design this stadium. He made suggestions based on his favorite stadium, which wasn't actually in Scotland, unfortunately. It was Stamford Bridge, which is Chelsea football's ground. But that's one example. You know, you've got this beautiful stadium right in the center of the city. And yeah, I think you can feel the cultural roots when you come and visit here, like you can if you're a visitor from China to Scotland, some of Scotland's towns and cities.
Eric Liddell's story is also remembered by Scottish Tartan. It helps people feel connections between the past and present, China and Scotland.
We were talking earlier, so this tie is actually a design in honour of Eric Liddell and the 100th anniversary of him winning gold at the Paris Olympics in 1924. But if you look closely, the blue represents Scotland, the red represents his links to China, the yellow represents his gold medal, the green represents his love of outdoors, the grey represents the time he spent in Wei-Xian internment camp towards the end of his life, and the deep blue represents him being part of the Scotland international rugby team and graduating from Edinburgh University. So next time anybody looks at tartan, they can look deeper and see what the meaning is.
So can sports influence our understanding of a culture? And if so, how does it work?
I think, you know, sport is a great connector of people. Everybody, you know, around the world loves sport. They can take part in it. If they can't take part in it, they can watch it and feel part of it. In terms of how it links to culture, I think, you know, anything that helps to connect people together, helps to increase understanding between people. So like here today, we see the story of Eric Liddell, the connections between people in China, people in Tianjin, and people back in Scotland. Really, I think when people hear this story and they start to see that connection, it makes them want to understand more, it makes them want to dig deeper. And I think it's not just about the sport, but also the cultural connections.